Naya. Welcome back to Naya Reads and Smiles. Hey guys! Okay, so today I'm going to be doing my May book haul. I'm very excited. A lot of books to show you guys. Some books I have been highly anticipating for this year, so it's gonna be an eventful video. I have a lot of sci-fi, fantasy, mystery, suspense books this month. I know last month I did mainly contemporary books. I was in a very like lovey-dovey mood. But we are back to the fantasy sci-fi because you know we can't stay away for too long. Today's video is so kindly sponsored by Disney Book Group in anticipation of a new young adult release, Gamora and Nebula, Sisters in Arms by Mackenzie Lee. Now I am so excited for this book. It comes out on June 1st. Gamora and Nebula is actually a follow-up to Mackenzie Lee's first book, which was Loki, Where Mischief Lies, and this is going to be a 3-part series that explores different characters in the Marvel universe. In the second book, we are following Gamora and Nebula, which are the daughters of Thanos. So the second book starts with our main character, Gamora. She has arrived on this new planet called Torndune. Torndune used to be a beautiful, lush planet, but has basically been strip-mined for the power source that lies beneath the surface of the planet. And her job is to collect the heart of the planet. Now, she doesn't know why she was sent, who sent her, or even like what the heart of the planet looks like. But she is the right hand and daughter to Thanos, one of the most powerful warriors in the universe, so she just has learned not to ask questions and will go to this planet and find the heart. Her sister, Nebula over here, followed her to Torndune in hopes of getting the heart before she does. Gamora actually played a part in Nebula losing her arm, and so her going there and kind of sabotaging her mission is a part of that vengeance that she wants against her sister. Gamora allies herself with a group of miners that are trying to overthrow one of the evil corporations. Nebula allies herself with the Universal Church of Truth, which is a group of missionaries that are everywhere on this planet. Both sisters ally themselves with different groups in hopes of getting access to this massive drill that can drill to the center of the planet, and I'm guessing that's where they think the heart of the planet is. They realize that they might actually be playing a role in some really twisted galactic competition, and they kind of have to learn to trust each other in order to figure out what's actually going on. I'm very excited for this story. Nebula and Gamora are actually teenagers in this book, so we get to see like the teenage versions of them, because I know in the movies they're already adults. There's going to be a link in the description that you guys can use to check out if you are interested in picking it up. Okay, so the next book I have here I am so excited for. So this is a young adult thriller slash suspense book, Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her. Now you guys, when I read the synopsis for this book, it reminded me of a movie that I watched when I was a kid. The book slash movie was The Lovely Bones. I just have such like a visceral memory watching that movie for the first time. I think I watched it a little too young. This book takes place in 1426 in Korea, and we're following our main character, Hwani. Now when our main character was younger, her and her little sister were kidnapped and later found in a forest next to some really gruesome crime scene. Hwani's father is actually a detective, and he finds out that 13 girls have disappeared in the same area that her and her sister were kidnapped or found. Father decides to go back to their hometown, which is on the island of Jeju, which is just off of South Korea, and investigate what happened and hopefully bring these 13 girls home. Their father disappears, and so now Hwani is traveling back to her hometown to try and find these 13 girls and her father, and also having to like face the trauma and PTSD of what happened to her as a child. The premise of this book is way different from The Lovely Bones, but for some reason when I first read it, that was just like the first movie slash book that popped into my head. I just really am interested in finding out what happens. Just based off of that synopsis, I was hooked and wanted to know more. Okay, so this next book I am so excited for because you guys actually recommended it to me, and you guys never lead me astray. I talk about it in every video, but one of my favorite series of all times is the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. I've read officially all 3 books that are out. It was so sad. But you guys reminded me that Talia Hibbert actually has a bunch of backlisted titles or books that she previously wrote that just aren't as well known as her Brown Sisters trilogy. So I went ahead and picked up one that recently got a new cover change. The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert. Now this beautiful, cute little like Princess Trap actually came out in 2018, or at least the copyright says 2018. It may have come out a little bit before that. I personally think the cover is super cute. Purple is my favorite color, so I'm living for the purple vibe. The Princess Trap just sounds like the perfect Hallmark movie. In The Princess Trap, we are following our main character, Cherry, who is just absolutely over men. She thinks men are just the dirt of the earth. According to the synopsis here, Cherry thinks that men are overrated, overpaid, and underperforming. She is looking for a one-night stand when she meets this guy in her office, so it sounds like it's gonna be like an office romance, which I absolutely love. I love office-related romances. I love it. She meets this guy named Ruben, who is reckless, dominant, and famously filthy, which just sounds like the perfect male protagonist for a book. Yeah, she kind of starts like a fling with this guy, but later learns after paparazzi start following them and snapping pictures that he is actually a prince. When Prince Ruben's family finds out, they are just like outraged and the paparazzi are freaking out. His reputation is basically ruined. Now our main characters have to figure out a way to fix this, and it involves a lot of lies and possibly a very big flashy diamond ring. I'm very excited to kind of experience her book in physical form and see if her writing feels any different when I actually read it instead of listening to it. So next book that I finally am holding in my hands, Mr. Impossible by Maggie Stiefvater. This is book 2 in the Dreamers trilogy, which is a spin-off of the Raven Cycle series. The first book in the series was Call Down the Hawk, and in that book we followed Ronan, who is he is my favorite character. I highly recommend the Raven Cycle series, but in that series there's this character named Ronan, and he has the ability to pull objects out of his dream, which is the most amazing power. Maggie, being the angel that she is, decided to make a whole series just focusing on Ronan. Ronan, honestly, by the end of the Raven Cycle series, I was just reading the book for Ronan, and he becomes such a big character, especially towards the end. Mr. Impossible is book 2, and we're following Ronan again, as well as all those new characters that we were introduced to in book 1. So yeah, there's really not too much I can say without spoiling you, so please go read the Raven Cycle, go read Call Down the Hawk, and then come back and read Mr. Impossible with me, because this is gonna be the next book I read. Okay, the next book I have here is another book that I'm so happy finally came. I have been seeing this book all over Bookstagram, and when I first heard of it and read the synopsis, I was immediately hooked. Firekeepers Daughter by Angeline Boley. Now this book is a new YA thriller, and we're following our main character, who is a biracial native teen. In this book we're following our main character. She is 18 years old, and she is an unenrolled tribal member, and so she has spent most of her life kind of just not really fitting into her hometown nor the Ojibwe reservation. Dreams of studying medicine, but something happens in her family and she has to now stay home and take care of her ill mother. The only kind of bright spot is this boy named Jamie, who she has a crush on. She ends up witnessing a murder and gets drawn into this investigation and is forced to go undercover. She does have a background in chemistry and traditional Ojibwe medicine, and so she uses her own skills to kind of go off and do her own investigation while she's going undercover for the cops. But as she's solving this murder, certain things start to come a little too close to home, and I'm guessing her life gets put in danger and her family's life gets put in danger as well. The premise of this book just sounds incredible. I'm so excited that we have a biracial native main character. I'm Native Hawaiian and multiracial, so I'm just very excited to, I feel like I'm gonna be able to relate to this book heavily. I cannot wait to dive into this one. The last book I have here is a new YA debut fantasy, and this is another book that I'm just like so hyped for, and I was so lucky to get an ARC. The book actually doesn't come out until September 28th, so this is a really, actually, September's not that far. It came in this beautiful, beautiful box, and it's just so jungle themed. Nightmares hunt like beasts of prey, only vanquished in the light of day. I love when books come with a good good riddle on the back. The last book I have here is Beast of Prey by Anya Gray, and this book, you guys, this is Anya's debut fantasy novel, and can we just take a second to appreciate how gorgeous the cover is. This book we're following our main character who is 16 years old. Her name is Kofi, I believe, and she is from the broken city of Lakosa. Now, in this city, Lakosa, there is no magic. Everybody knows that. Magic is not supposed to exist in this city, but our main character, she does have magic. She does have a magic ability that if other people discovered, it could cost her life. The main character is also indentured to work at the night zoo, and the night zoo is this notorious zoo that houses all of these different creatures, many of which could kill her. One night, the master of the night zoo, so the person that she is forced to work for, pay off her family's debt for, he threatens her family and she unleashes this power finally. We are also following another character named Ekon, I believe it's pronounced, and he is destined to become one of the Son of the Six, which is an elite warrior, and carry on his family's legacy. Ekon has to go through this rite of passage, so on the night of the rite of passage, he ends up encountering this very vicious monster, this beast, and our main character, she ends up saving him because, one, she works at, you know, the night zoo, but she also has this power to kind of tame these vicious monsters. Other main characters decide that they want to go and hunt this creature after they just survived almost being killed by it. They form a tentative alliance and enter the Great Jungle, which is this jungle that is home to many magical creatures and dangers, and just, it's a scary jungle. I love books that take place in A, an island, or B, a jungle environment. I'm very excited for this book. Again, the cover is gorgeous. The story sounds incredible. Those are all the books on my list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again to Disney Book Group for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to check out Gamora and Nebula, there will be a link down below. Until next time, keep reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!